So we get a code 1, which is for our motorcycles and scooters included as well, excluding quad bikes. So quad bikes do not fit in any licensing category because they're not permitted to be driven on public roads like in the United States. But you can correct me on that. I'm not too sure on the law about that, but I've seen in movies that you do get guys riding quad bikes. So that's just a side note. So then we've got the code 2, which is your light motor vehicle. Another word for that is your code 8. That's the other terminology. So that's the one that you get with your normal day-to-day vehicles that people use, and it includes your buckies as well. So that includes your new Ford buckies that are large, and also the incoming American Dodge vehicles as well that are now in South Africa. And then you get your code 3. That will be basically all of these included right here. So the code 3 actually includes your code 10 as well. So in code 3 you get your EC and you get your code 10. I think it's EC1. I stand to be corrected there. Please drop a comment below if I'm digressing anyway there, but it's your EC and your EC1. So what do I have? I've got the EC license, and I am now basically teaching and helping the rest of the communities on getting their licensing as well. So what documentation do you need to get your learners? Number 1, you need an ID document. So that can be a passport, which is this one right here. It can be a passport, a South African passport, or a foreign passport, depending on whether you're foreigner or not. Then you will need a proof of address as well. So that's proof of address that you will need. And what else will you need? You will need 2 identical ID photos. So 2 identical ID photos, an ID doc, passport if you're a foreign national. If you are a foreign national, that's for example a refugee in a country, then you need your section 24 permit. Section 24, I'll write it there, section 24, or a section 23. I think 23, and then you get a 22 as well, a section 22 permit. So these are for the foreign nationals. You will need that. And then the first thing that you will do, let's start off with the citizens, the South African citizens. The first thing they will do is go together with your ID doc, which can be your ID book or your ID card. Forgot about the card as well. That can be your ID card, and then with your 2 identical photos and your proof of address, you will take that documentation through to your nearest DLC or DLTC Driving License Testing Center. So then you will take that ID book / ID card, proof of address, which can be your municipal bill. In the case you're an adult and you pay municipal fees, it can be a municipal bill. If you're a minor, youngster, maybe in high school, you don't have your own bank account, and you need a proof of address, you can basically get your parents' proof of address and go with them to a police station and write an affidavit. So you can do an affidavit. So you go to a police station and write an affidavit. So yeah, my apologies on my writing. Try my best to make the video as quick and short as possible so that it can be shared really easily. So if you're a youngster, you still stay with your parents, you can get an affidavit at a police station, and you use that as a proof of address together with your parents' proof of address, which can be the municipal bill or bank account, or an account statement from, for example, Telkom, any of these telecommunications companies, or these retail stores. You can use that, and remember to also bring along your parents' ID document. It can be the South African passport, the ID book, or the ID card, and you take that to the Driving License Testing Center to book for a learners. So the process for that I will explain after I explain the step for the foreign nationals. So for the foreign nationals, you also need the same, a proof of address, and then of course your section 24, 23 or 22 permit, a red ID book if you've got one, a red ID book. It's very important that you get a red ID book. If you do not have one, you can go through to your nearest Home Affairs, your refugee center Home Affairs, I think that's what it's called, and you can get your red ID book. Once you've got all these things, your red ID book, your section 24 permit, your proof of address as a foreign national, then you will go through to a driving license testing center, a DLTC, or a municipal office. That's another thing. You can go through to a municipal office to basically acquire a traffic register. This basically means that you've been registered on the system that controls all the traffic and everything in the country. So you will need that traffic register. That is also a form of ID for you when you will be applying for your learners. Okay, so now we've covered the foreign nationals. After you've got your traffic register, which takes about 2 weeks minimum to I think to 3 months, depending on where you apply it. So that's basically the process for foreign nationals. You will need a traffic register, and that includes foreign nationals from any other countries that would like to obtain a South African driving license permit. So that's basically it. Now let's move on to the next step. So now, to get this end result, after you've got your proof of address, your ID doc, your 2 identical ID photos. You need those 2 identical ID photos. It's important that they're identical. You cannot have one that has a different background to what you have on the other. You basically need to look alike on that. No Mr. Bean photos, no Dragon Ball Z in the back, nothing like that. You need to make sure everything is identical, because this is basically a proof of your ID as a person, identity basically. So once you get those things, you go through to the DLTC, your nearest one, and then you'll fill in a form. I do believe it would be a blue form, but you can always confirm with the team there. They will help you there to fill in that form. You fill in your details, and you will need to tick the type of learner's license that you're applying for. So you can choose between code 1, which is your motorcycles, and then your code 2, which is your normal vehicles that do not exceed 3,500 kilograms. And then if it is your code 3, which is your buses, your trucks, your code 10 is included in this 3. That's just another terminology that they use. So those ones exclude or exceed 3,500 kilograms. That's basically the mass of the vehicle. In other words, they call it the GVM. So the gross vehicle mass exceeds 3.5 kilograms or 3,500 kilograms. I'm mixing it up with tons, so my apologies on there. Okay, so that's basically what you will do. You will tick now which code you're applying for, and then they will send you for an eye test. Okay, after they've double checked your documentation, they will send you for an eye test. If you pass this eye test, then they will share with you the available dates, basically the available dates for the next testing. This is the written test, the available dates for the next testing. If you are in Johannesburg, it may be different. There's an online platform which I'll add a link below in the description, that you can book your testing and all that. So they will share with you the available dates, the testing dates, when you will come and write the written test. They'll give you a slip, and you will make a payment. The last time I was there, I think it was something to do with 100 rand to somewhere 300 rand max that you might need to have in your pocket when you're coming through for the booking of the test. So that's basically it in terms of booking. The booking is now done. So the next thing that you will do is you'll go home and prepare. You can be watching our videos, which we will be uploading in later weeks, on tips and tricks that you can use to pass this examination. And remember, speed kills in everything, not only in driving, in everything. And that's basically it for our video today. I will share with you on the rest of the other content at a later stage. Thank you very much, and be safe, and remember,